The sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray. The sun has got its hat on, and it's coming out to play. Hello everyone, here we are again once more on a very hot day. It is the hottest day so far during this particular heat wave. Hi and welcome, here we go again. Are you ready to enjoy the English language? Because here we are again, this is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, I am so sweaty and sticky today. Yes, it's England. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy today? I hope you are feeling happy, and I hope you have a big smile on your face right now. If you don't, do it now. Please give me a lovely smile. You know you want to. I am so sweaty. I am very sticky and sweaty today. It is so hot here in the studio. I have to say, it is boiling hot. It is scorching, and I am sweating. I am sweating from parts of my body that I did not know I could sweat from. That's how hot I am feeling today. My name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. I love English so much. You might say that I'm one of those up there. A lot of people say that, you see. They say that Mr. Duncan, he's one of those. An English addict. And I am. I love the English language. How much? How much do I love the English language? Before I go to sleep at night, I always think of all those lovely words in the English language, and I count them all, and they always help me to get to sleep with a big smile on my face. That's how much I love English, and I have a feeling maybe perhaps you like English as well. I hope you are feeling good today. It is a hot one. Behind me you can see the landscape, you can see everything is brown. Some of that is actually farmland. However, some of it is also grass as well. We've had so much hot weather, and perhaps also you are experiencing hot weather as well. So we can share our sweatiness together. Do you have a secret, by the way? Is there a secret to keeping cool during this hot period? What about you? Do you have something that you like to do? Perhaps you go into your kitchen and open your refrigerator, and then maybe you stick your head inside to cool yourself off. By the way, our refrigerator got so hot the other day because it was working extra hard to keep everything cool inside. It actually stopped working for a while. The motor actually overheated and stopped. Fortunately, it did come back on. So it was only off for a few minutes, and then it came back on, fortunately, because, well, to be honest with you, I need my cold water. Talking of which, oh, very nice, Mr. Duncan. We like your slinky link. My slinky link into today's topic, which is all about words connected to water, types of water pressure, the way in which water can flow, and all of the words connected to it. So we are talking about water. We're also having a look today at an interesting word, the word charlatan. There is a certain person who has once again reappeared and is being talked about in the news, a person who I don't really like very much. You might be surprised to find out that I dislike someone because I'm such a lovely man. A lot of people say that, apparently. Well, okay then. Mr. Steve says it sometimes about me. I can't think of anyone else who says it. But there is one person who is in the news headlines again. And I would class this person as a charlatan, a person who pretends to have abilities that they don't have. And in fact, in the past, it has been proven that this person does not have these so-called abilities. We'll be talking about that a little bit later as well. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another week and also the end of another weekend. Did you see my special live stream on Friday? Did you? It was my birthday and now I am another year older. Yes, it's Sunday. The sun has definitely got its hat on today. It's outside and it's beaming down on mankind. Or should I say humankind? Oh, Mr. Duncan, you have to be so careful with those pronouns. Naughty boy. The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. The sun has got its hat on and it's come out to play and also make me very sweaty. Talking of sweaty people, we have Mr. Steve coming up in a few moments as well. In around about 15 minutes, we have Mr. Steve here joining us once more on the live chat. Can I say a big thank you? I first of all have to say a wonderful thank you to all those who sent their donations to me in response to Friday's live stream. I was doing a little bit of fundraising to help my work continue. Can I say a big thank you to all those who made a lovely donation on my PayPal? Thank you very much. Eulina, Maurizio, Magdalena, Olga, Valentin, Nelly, Bala, Anna, Catherine, and also Jose or Jose Marin. I hope you are here today to receive my heartfelt thanks very much. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your donations. As you know, I do all this for free. I've been doing this for nearly 16 years and I've never charged anything. Everything has always been for free. So that's what I'm doing. Today I'm saying thank you to all those who made a donation, and there is still time. If you wish to make a donation to my PayPal, you are more than welcome to do so. I would appreciate it, and you are welcome to do it. Of course, you don't have to. I'm not forcing you. There is no pressure. But if you would like to help, you are more than welcome to do so. You will not hear me complaining about that. Can I also say hello to the live chat? Hello, live chat. Don't forget also, if you are watching right now, or perhaps you are watching the recording of this live stream, please give me a lovely like to show you care. It is a little bit like giving me a hug. So imagine this as a lovely, warm hug, holding me close and reassuring me that there are people out there in YouTube land who are liking my videos and my live streams. That would be ever so nice. So thank you very much. Give me a like right now under this video. Thank you. Talking of the live chat, I wonder who was first today. Let's have a look, shall we? Very interesting. This might deserve A fancy pants? I'm not sure. I might do it. I might not. Beatrice. Hello, Beatrice. Nice to see you here today. Yes, you are first on today's live chat. Congratulations. I can't begin to tell you how hot it is in the studio. I'm not outside, I'm indoors. I'm in the studio, and I think it's actually hotter in here than it is outside. It is 32 degrees, 32 Celsius outside there. However, here in the studio, I think it must be around 36 or 37 degrees in here. So you might get the chance today to see me faint or collapse because of heat stroke. If you spend too much time outside in the sun, the heat can actually make your body go a little strange. You can become dehydrated. You might become dizzy. You might even pass out, faint. You might fall to the floor from exhaustion from the intense heat. So that's the reason why you have to be careful if you go outside on a hot day. However, here in the studio, it's hotter than it is outside. And as I understand it, I think today is actually going to be the hottest day. So from now on, I think it's going to get cooler over the next few days, which is, well, I have to be honest with you. It is good news. I'm very pleased that it's going to get cooler over the next few days. Hello also, Claudia. I suppose I should ask that very important question that I haven't asked for a long time. You know what the question is. The question is... What's cooking, Claudia? What have you got in the pot? What's cooking, Claudia? Is it something spicy and hot? Is it something salty or not? Oh, Claudia, what is in the pot? Come on, Claudia. What are you cooking today? What is in your pot today, Claudia? Please let us know on the live chat. Also, we have Petra is here today. Thank you, Petra. And I know the other day you were really enjoying the live stream, so it is nice to see you back also. Yes, we also have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you here today. Also, Palmyra. Thank you very much for your donation last week on the Super Chat, by the way. Also, Beatrice, again. Beatrice, congratulations. And yes, he is here. You know what I'm going to say. Welcome once more to Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you here as well. We also have Gulu Alba. Hello, Alba. I don't recognise your name. I think you have been here before. Angelica is here. The lady with angel in her name. Hello, teacher. Good morning from Brazil and good afternoon in England. Happy for yet another encounter with the handsome. Happy? Handsome? Can I just say you've made my day? If someone makes your day, it means they do something or say something that makes you feel happy, and maybe something that will stay in your mind for the rest of the day. So thank you very much. Handsome. Ooh, I'm going to tell Steve about that later on. I think so. Hello also to, who else is here today? Fernando. Hello, Fernando. Also we have Fayaz is here as well. Thank you for joining me on the live chat. Yes, we do have Mr. Steve here. Today he is here. Despite the heat, despite the fact that he's upstairs at the moment trying to stay cool because the whole of the house is red hot. And the problem is, you know what the problem is. If you are living in a building made of brick, what you often find is the outside of the house will begin to heat up, and it will continue to heat up. And then eventually all of that heat will go through the bricks and into the house. And then the outside of the house will stay hot for a long period of time. So inside this house at the moment is like an oven. It is. And that's probably the reason why we are having water shortages at the moment. So in many parts of the UK, especially England, in the southeast of England, there is a serious water shortage. Many reservoirs, many rivers, they are very low, and in some cases almost dry. There is no water to go around. So there are certain restrictions taking place at the moment in the south of England. We cannot run water. We cannot waste water. So people cannot go into their gardens. They are not allowed. They are banned from using their hose pipes. They can't water their gardens, their plants, or their grass. They are not allowed to do it. And if they do, if they are caught, they will be fined a large amount of money because they were breaking that particular law. So it is something that's temporary. Whilst the water shortage continues here in England, there will be restrictions. However, fortunately, around here, we have a lot of water around here. So at the moment, there are no real water restrictions. However, I have a feeling maybe over the next couple of days there will be. So at the moment, there are no restrictions in the Shropshire area, as far as I know. I would imagine Mr. Steve will come in a few moments and he will say, Mr. Duncan, guess what? There are restrictions. He is such a know-it-all, that Mr. Steve. Anyway, he will be here soon. I hope you will stay with us on this very hot day. We also have Suad, Sylvie, hello to you as well. Suad and also Sylvie, nice to see you here as well. Apparently in Houdain it is 34 Celsius. So it's almost as hot here as it is where you are. I know it's a hot day. I know I keep saying it. I would imagine most people are really bored with listening to me talk about the heat, but it is hot. And now we are being told that we can't use our water in certain parts of the country, so it's not very good really. Oh, by the way, I have been enjoying my new toasting device for toasting my bread. I have been enjoying it. I have been using it. So far it's working very well. A lovely birthday present that I received from Mr. Steve. Very nice. Hello also to, who else is here? Amajit. Hello, Amajit. If you live in a house with solid brickwork, you will find that the inside of your house will heat up. Like, do you know those things that they make pottery inside? So when you make pottery, you put it inside a very hot oven. They also call it a kiln. K-I-L-N. Kiln. It is a very hot oven, normally used for making pottery, anything made of clay. It helps it to go hard or to harden. But it is like a kiln in here today, or a furnace. That's another way of describing hot weather or the feeling of being hot. Today it is like a furnace in here. We are going to have Mr. Steve here in a few moments. I thought it would be nice, actually, just to enjoy a little bit of water, a little bit of flowing water for those who want to cool down, for those who are feeling a little bit hot and sweaty, like me. And then after this, Mr. Steve will be here. Ah. Oh, did you enjoy the carols? Did you enjoy the water? To be honest, I wish there was some water flowing through here right now because it's so hot in the studio. Beep, 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 beep. Here he is. He's on his way.
Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, lovely viewers. I feel as though it wasn't last Sunday that I was on. I feel as though I was on a lot sooner than this.
Yes, or later.
Just a few days ago.
Yes.
When was I on? Friday?
Yes, Friday. We were here celebrating my lovely birthday.
Is that what it was?
It was my birthday.
Is that what it was on Friday? You know, I'd totally forgotten.
It was my birthday on Friday. Thank you very much to all those. Once again, can I just say thank you very much to those who made lovely donations over the past couple of days as well. I will put them on the screen very quickly. There we go. Look at that. So many people have made lovely donations on PayPal.
I haven't given you a penny.
No, you haven't. Although you did give me a very lovely toaster.
That's true.
I have been so busy making toast. I can't remember the last time I actually cooked, or should I say toasted, toast. Because, of course, toast, the word toast, can be used as a noun and also a verb. And it can also, its appearance, something can appear toasted as well.
Yes.
So if it looks brown or slightly burnt, not completely, but if it's been near the heat, I feel as if I have been toasted. To be honest, it's hot in here, isn't it?
And you can use it to describe sort of getting back at somebody. You can say to somebody, if you don't stop that, you're toast.
Yes.
Can't you? You can say to somebody, it's an indication that you're going to annihilate them in some way.
Yes, or do something against them.
Do something against them. It might not be physical. It could be, you might be at work. You might be competing with colleagues at work.
Yes.
And they might be trying to beat you, and you say, well, watch out, because I'm going to beat you. You'll be toast by the time I've finished.
That's it. Or if you're going to receive punishment as well, you can say that person is going to be toast. The boss will have him in the office, and he will be toast.
Yes, in other words, yes.
So maybe he'll be demoted.
Demoted, something going to happen equivalent to, imagine what it's like if you actually were heated to the point of being like toast.
Yeah.
But it can be said in a friendly way, it can be said in a serious way. Watch out, you'll be toast.
Yes. Well, I feel as if I'm turning into toast today in the studio.
Oh God, it's hot in here, Mr. Duncan, today. I mean,
it is around 36 or 37.
Well, I could go and fetch the actual.
Well, we won't be doing that because it's incredibly boring.
Well, no, it's not. Did you imagine? Well, it might be for you. Did you? What? I mean, is it even hotter than the melting point of chocolate? So it got so hot in the studio on Friday. Anybody watching will have seen the comical moment when we decided to open the chocolates that I'd given Mr. Duncan for his birthday, and when I went to pick one out, my finger went straight into it. They had melted in Duncan's studio.
In fact, here is the spoon that we used to actually eat one of the chocolates. It was really like eating dessert rather than a chocolate. It was just so soft. So it was rather nice.
Thank you, Vitas. Thank you, Rosa, Mosen, Beatrice, Tudzika, Gulu10, Fayaz Ali, Rosa. Everyone is saying hello to me. These are all the people that said hello to me. Palmyra, Lewis. How nice.
It is nice. By the way, apparently Claudia is busy with her laundry today, so we won't be seeing much of Claudia, and I wanted to find out what was cooking in her pot.
Well, maybe she's too busy to cook. Can she do the laundry and cook at the same time?
I don't know.
Watch us?
I don't know.
Multitask. Well, I'll tell you who is cooking. Saturino.
Oh.
Saturino is cooking pasta pen al ragu, which sounds very nice.
I've heard of ragu.
There's a brand of pasta sauces in jars that you can get in the UK called ragu, sort of tomato based. So there's meat in this dish,
Yes.
Duncan, Mr. Duncan. So talking of meat, I was going to cook. I forgot to put the meal on for later.
There's random thoughts of Mr. Steve.
That's it. That's what you get with me.
We're almost wearing the same colour. Everything today looks like it's been burnt by the sun. So all of our
faded.
we've got warm colours. And behind us, yes, that is live. A lot of people say that is not live, but it is. That's outside the window. It is very, very hot. We went for a walk yesterday, but we decided not to do it during the daytime because it was just too hot.
Well, today is the peak of the heat. Tomorrow it's cooling off, and the rest of the week is going to be back to average August temperatures in the UK.
Good.
20, 21, 22, something
Good.
like that. So we should feel a lot more comfortable tomorrow, and I should be able to go out and do something in the garden. I went out yesterday. I could only bear it for half an hour, and I had to come in.
Apparently, Nitram says that you are very similar in maybe your character or your appearance as the famous late night talk show host Johnny Carson.
Oh, was he bald?
He wasn't. No, he had a head of hair,
Right.
but you should take that as a compliment.
Well, people keep telling me I look like other people. The other day, where was I the other day? I
Okay.
was somewhere.
Okay, good.
I can't remember where it was, and somebody said I looked like. Oh, I know where it was. We had a concert at this church last Saturday, and afterwards, I sung a solo. But afterwards, people came up to me and said, "Oh, you look like the comedian Steve Allen." And then somebody else said, "Oh no, you look like the son of the ex-Labour leader, whose name I can't remember. Who did I say? Labour leader from the sort of 80s, 90s, Welsh.
Is it the one that fell over?
Yes,
Neil Kinnock.
Neil Kinnock. Apparently, I look like Steve Kinnock, which I thought could have been an insult until I looked up Steve Kinnock's profile, and he's quite a handsome dude.
Didn't you say this on Friday?
No,
You
I think
did.
I've mentioned that before.
He did say on Friday.
So thank you. I'm looking like lots of people.
Yes. Who, by the way, no one watching will have any idea who they are. But Johnny Carson, that's a good one. I would take that one. Here's Johnny.
I remember him being a looker. But
He
yes.
was the most famous for years and years and years, right up until the early 1990s. He was the most famous talk show host in the world, actually.
Yes, I do know that, but I don't remember him being known for his good looks.
Yeah, he was quite suave. Suave.
Well, I'll take anything.
Yes.
I'll take anything, Mr. Duncan.
Take suave. It's a great word, suave.
Steve Kinnock. He's quite a handsome man. I'll take that one.
Yeah, we
definitely.
don't know who he is though.
Well, look him up. He's an MP.
Okay.
And I might go on. This is my new profession now, Mr. Duncan. I'm going to be a celebrity lookalike.
I always thought you looked like Bruce Willis. I always thought Bruce Willis was the one. A Bruce Willis look at not now. No, you look like an angry bulldog now. You look like a dog that's just swallowed a wasp.
Right. Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Father's Day in Brazil.
Hello to all the dads.
All the dads watching, and we must have some dads watching in Brazil. Have we got Pedro watching? Maybe he's a dad.
I don't know. There are other people watching in Brazil.
I know, but I'm just saying that's the first one that came to mind for some reason.
Okay, Steve, calm down. You remember you got the court case coming up.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want another one.
So we are talking about words connected to water, but not just the actual water, but the way in which water can actually flow, the way it can move, the force of water. There are different ways of describing all of those things. So we are talking about that in a little while.
Aqua.
But, sorry?
H2O.
What's that got to... Yes.
Aqua. Another
Water.
name for water.
Yes. Well, it's
Thought I'd
things...
mention that. It's an English teaching channel after
Things
all.
related to water normally
Yes.
have aqua as a prefix.
They do, yes.
They do. So I thought before we carry on, we would have a little deep moment a deep moment where we think about the way we view ourselves and also life in general. This might look like just an ordinary glass of water, but in fact it is something much more symbolic. The way in which you view this glass might reveal how you view your own situation in life. Let me explain. To some, this glass is half full. It is not empty. It still has something to offer you. There is still some water left in the glass. You could say that this is a positive way of looking at the glass. However, to others, this glass is half empty. There is not as much water in the glass as there could be. This could be viewed as being negative and pessimistic. Your perspective of the world and your situation in general can often be judged by whether you see the glass as half full or half empty. As for me, well, what do you think? Is my glass half full or half empty? Being able to see the bright side of something is not easy, but it can be done. After all, tomorrow is indeed another day. Take another look at your glass. You might be pleasantly surprised by what you see. Oh, very deep, very meaningful. What about your glass, Mr. Steve?
Well, I'm definitely a glass half empty kind of guy.
Yes.
So yeah, they're always using this analogy or this statement at work to describe how positive you are, looking into the future and about how you think your sales will go, things like that. So yes, so another way of looking at that is, so if you see a glass that's half empty, so do you see your life as running out?
Yeah.
Getting less, or do you see that there is more room, more things, exciting things to happen in your life?
So it's really about what your own personal perspective is of something, whether it's positive or negative. So some people see that the glass is half empty if they are always thinking negatively. However, if you are a positive person, quite often you will see the glass as half full. That means there is still some water there. It's a little bit like life.
That means that there's more room for more water to go in. The glass is filling up, not emptying.
Or there is still plenty of water left.
Yes, however you want to think of it. If you are a glass half full type of person, generally you would say you are positive, optimistic about the future. I would say I'm neither half full or half empty. I'm in the middle. I look at that glass and think, well, it could get worse or it could get better. Either could happen. But some people are always positive, aren't they? And some people are. My father said to me I remember when I was about 10.
Yes.
I can still picture the moment now. He said, "You're a pessimist, you are."
Oh dear.
He said to me.
Yes. Well,
and I was only about 10 at the time.
What you should have said is, yeah, Dad, so are you, because you just said that to me.
No, see, my father was the eternal optimist. He was always optimistic and positive, whereas my mother is the opposite.
Okay.
So I'm in the middle. I think I'm in the middle. So I can be very positive, and then I think I'm a realist. I look upon life as, you can't always think it's always going to get better. And I used to work with somebody who had their philosophy in life. He was a very miserable person. This is when I used to work in hospital labs. And I mean, most people that work in hospital labs, in my experience, are pretty miserable people anyway. That's why I got out of it. God, it was so depressing. But he was quite a clever person, and he'd ended up in a job which was way below his capabilities.
Okay.
And he was always miserable, always negative. And he said that he preferred to think, always, if something was going to happen, he always preferred to think that think about what could go wrong. And then if it goes right, he's pleasantly surprised and then feels happier.
Yes.
Whereas, if you think things are always going to go right, now obviously they can't always go right. But he said he couldn't face the depression of when things went wrong and didn't go the way he expected. So he'd rather be depressed all the time. And then when something nice happens, he feels good, rather than feeling good all the time and then feeling depressed when. But actually, what psychologists have shown is that it is much better for you to be positive all the time, because you occasionally things will go wrong, and then you cope with it. It's better to be positive all the time because that's better for your body, and then accept that things will go wrong, rather than be negative all the time.
Yeah.
And then things occasionally will, because if you're negative all the time, your body is producing weird hormones, which is bad for your health. So I'm trying to switch, Mr. Duncan. Well, when I'm on here, I'm always positive.
Don't switch me.
I'm always positive. You're a very positive. You always think things are going to go right. Don't you?
All right, Steve. You just said you wanted to switch me, though. I'm okay. I think I'm all right.
I know, that's what I mean. You're always a Mr. Positive. You're the complete opposite. So when I buy anything or do anything, I'm always thinking, what could go wrong here?
Yes.
Like leaving this toaster on. You would think, it'll be all right. Like going out, here's a classic one.
Okay.
We go out for the day somewhere and you decide to put the dishwasher on.
Oh my God!
Before we go out.
Hello, anybody still there?
No, this is classic. No, this is classic how I think, how you think. So you think, I'm going out, I'll put the dishwasher out. But my immediate thought is...
How do I put it out?
We go out, so we're going out somewhere.
Okay.
So going out for a few hours or for the day, you will put the dishwasher on before we go out. Now, in my mind, I would be thinking, well, what happens if that dishwasher goes wrong when we're out? What happens if it sets on fire and the house burns down?
Yeah.
Whereas if we were here... that wouldn't enter your head to think like that. Whereas I would.
Well, yes, because I'm realistic.
Yes, but you see,
you just said you're a realist, but I think actually you're a pessimist because you always expect everything to go completely wrong. Like
that is true.
If you go out the house, you think that the dishwasher that is washing the dishes whilst we're out is going to just burst into flames and burn the house down.
That's it, like leaving the toaster on you're unattended.
You are like Meryl Streep from... Who remembers Lemony Snicket's? Who remembers Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events? She was in that, you see, Glenn Close, and she played a character who lived in a precarious building at the edge of a cliff. And she was always worried about everything going wrong.
I'm not surprised.
And always anything that happened around her, she always looked on the pessimistic side. I can't remember the character's name, but I do know she was played by Glenn Close, very funny as well in that film. But you're a bit like that, always looking on the dark side.
Yes, so I know that the probability of the dishwasher going wrong while we're out and setting the house on fire is a very, very low probability.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it is still a probability. There is still a chance it could happen.
Yeah.
So I would, I always feel nervous till we come back. Literally, I come up the drive and think, oh, the house is still there.
Really?
I've been thinking about it all the time.
That's crazy.
I know it's crazy.
That's
the way my mind works.
You might want to have a chat to someone about that.
It's because you hear about these obscure things that happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, how do you get in an aeroplane then?
Well, exactly.
Well, you might say the same thing.
Well, there's always a probability of
you would
something
never
going wrong.
but you would never get out of bed ever again, just in case as you got out of bed you slipped or fell and hit your head on the wall, or as you go down the stairs in the house, if you trip, you will fall down the stairs. So there is always peril. Life is all about peril.
It's probabilities. It's like, for example, I know somebody. It's like they say you shouldn't leave. You shouldn't. Everything needs charging up now, doesn't it? Phones.
Yes.
Everything. Excuse me. Everything you've got has got batteries in that needs charging up. So they can go wrong. So the phones can burst into flame while they're being charged, even when they're not being charged.
Again, very rarely.
Rarely, but I know that happened to somebody.
Yes.
And literally
Maybe.
their house burnt down.
Yeah.
Somebody I work with They bought something for their son for birthday present. Christmas. No, it was Christmas. And they were all downstairs having a Christmas meal. The sun was up, was charged everything up. Suddenly, there was smoke everywhere. In the house, they had to get the fire brigade out on Christmas Day because the charger had gone wrong or something.
I hope the turkey didn't burn.
So those things, I think, yeah, okay.
I would save the turkey. If the house was on fire on Christmas Day, the first thing I would grab is the turkey, because there is no way my turkey is going to get burnt.
Yes, Angelica says, toast fired up. That's a weird thing to hear. Yes, if you're fired up, it means it's like getting a fire going. You're ready to go. Action.
Yes.
I'm fired up for today's live stream.
Yes. To stoke up. You stoke up the fire. You get the fire burning fiercely or ferociously. You have a very hot, very what's the word?
Yes, the point I was making, if you use the word fired up, if you say I'm fired up, it means you're ready to go. You've got lots of energy, enthusiasm, positivity, and it's just like once you get an oven going with a fire, it's all ready to go. You can start cooking. You're on the go. You're on the way.
I think you're on the go today. You're on something.
Yes.
So today we're looking at water, but there's something else I want to talk about for a few moments. We did mention Johnny Carson earlier on, which is very strange because I'm going to talk about Johnny Carson in a moment. Because, there is someone who has come back into the news again. He's not always someone who is around, or he's not always someone who is being talked about, but now and again he does pop up. And that person is someone that I would describe as a charlatan.
Charlatan.
It's a great word. A charlatan is a person who makes people believe that they have abilities that they don't actually have. The person I'm talking about, if you haven't already guessed, is Uri Geller. I can't stand that guy. He is the biggest one of those ever. He is. And it's been proved. Very famously, if you look up YouTube, Johnny Carson, Uri Geller, and a guy called James Randi. And James Randi was a guy who went around proving that all of these people who say they have superpowers, he proved that they didn't. And he famously made Uri Geller look very silly on live television on the Johnny Carson show. And they set up this test of Uri Geller's psychic powers. And you know what? He gave up. He said he couldn't do it. And that's because James Randi decided on the things that he was going to sense. So if you have those powers, there should be no situation where those powers don't work. You either have them or you don't.
Oh.
So James Randi was sadly no longer around, but he went around proving all of these things to be completely fake.
Bunkum.
Fake.
Bunkum.
Yes. And that's my thought on Uri Geller. He comes around now and again. He comes around, does things, and then vanishes again. Then comes back again.
Because people then forget what happened.
Yes.
People forget that he was proved to be not a man with superpowers.
No.
But what happens is people just don't care. He's just like a famous person. So
I know people are gullible. That's what it is. They want to believe that this is true. Every time he appears somewhere. So at the moment, he has said that he's going to put a hex on Vladimir Putin. So that's what he's doing. He's threatening. He's made threats against Vladimir Putin. And he said he's going to use his psychic powers to damage him. Well, can I just say that is so tacky and crass.
It is.
It really is. It's a terrible thing to do. And all he's getting is publicity. And so he does this now and again. He comes out from under his rock. He says, hello, I'm Uri Geller. I'm psychic. Look, I'm back again. And then he disappears again for a while. And then he comes back again. But he's not. He can't bend spoons. He can't make watches start again or clocks. And he did not forecast 9/11. which is the other one that he now says that he did. But he didn't. Because if he did, he would have told us. And if he didn't tell us, then we should prosecute him for not telling us.
You're not a fan, are you?
Well, of course, no, because he's a complete charlatan. That's the whole point.
Well, yes. I mean, yes.
What?
I mean, he's more of a magician, isn't he? Probably.
No, he isn't. He's a very dangerous person who makes people believe things that are not possible. It's been proved time and time again. You can't bend a spoon by thinking about it. You actually weaken the spoon first, and then you just use pressure to slowly break the spoon that's already half broken. That is how you do it. It's all been proved. It's all on YouTube.
There's a spoon.
Well, I'm not used. Well, I have to break this spoon first.
But when I was growing up, he was around in the 70s, wasn't he?
He was yes.
That's when he first became very famous.
And the 80s and the 90s.
But that's when he first came to sort of prominence. It must have been sometime in the 1970s.
Okay.
And I used to spend hours trying to bend spoons. The way he did it. Because it was just everyone at school. No, I'm just saying. Don't say that. But you would, as a child, you see that. You want to have a go yourself.
Yes. Well, again, that's why it's dangerous.
By doing that. Of course, I never did manage to do it.
No, because it doesn't exist.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here now. I'd be on television.
Well, you wouldn't because you can't do it.
Oh, I know that. I know that, Mr. Duncan.
There is no such thing as psychic power. It does not exist. Because to this day, it's never been proven. Steve, trust me.
No, I'm just saying you might upset
James
people.
Rand. Well, if it does upset people, that's okay. It's okay. It's a free world. It's a free country. You have freedom of expression.
Well, you've really got.
Yes. Well, I'm a bit
between your teeth.
To be honest, I'm a bit pissed off this week.
Why?
I am.
You're swearing, Mr. Duncan. I've never heard you swear.
No. Well, there you go. Yes.
Never heard you swear on your live streams.
Steve, I'm trying to say something here. Quite serious. I was a bit pissed off about what happened.
Annoyed. Go on then.
I was a bit pissed off about what happened to Salman Rushdie. I'm going to be honest. It really has upset me a bit. And I don't know why. It's upset me. And I think it's because freedom of speech should never be a thing that puts you in danger. You should always have some sort of freedom to say what you think. So I think Uri Geller is a complete charlatan. And you can't stop me from saying that because he is. It's been proven. So that's it. So I'm not going to upset people. I'm just giving my opinion, and I am a bit upset. I don't know why. It has actually upset me a bit because it's all about freedom of expression. You either have freedom or you don't. That's it. There's no in between. You don't say, "Oh, today here, have some freedom." Now, tomorrow, we're going to take that freedom back. You can't have it tomorrow.
Well, that has happened in many countries.
Here's a little bit of freedom, but we're not going to give you all of the freedom. And that's it, you see. So freedom of expression, to me, is...
Well, some countries have done that, haven't they? They've gone down the route of more freedom and expression, but then they've taken it away again.
Well, yes.
In many countries around the world that have tried to become more sort of open and democratic, and then a group of people that don't like that come back into power and then destroy it again.
Yes.
And we've seen that happening in many countries.
Well, at least most countries that don't give freedom, or at least they don't make a secret of it. So I will say to a degree, at least countries that don't have freedom, Steve, of speech,
yes,
at least they don't hide it. So we have countries around the world, you know where they are, I know where they are. Fortunately, we live in a country where you do have freedom of expression. So I can run out into the street now and say that the Queen of England is a poopy pants, and no one can do anything about it. They can't. But in some countries, Steve, if I went outside and said the king or queen of that country has poopy pants, I would be locked up in prison.
Or, somebody that's revered in a religious way.
Yes. Well, yes. Let's not go down that road at the moment.
Well, you've sort of touched on it.
Yes.
Talking about Salman Rushdie. But,
yes, I know, but that's all I said.
Yes. I know. The way I see it is that, what you are taught when you are very young. See, I don't necessarily blame people for this, because I blame leaders of countries and leaders of religious groups going back, because
Yes.
if you grow up
I
as
wasn't-
a child
Yes.
and you are taught certain things, it's hardwired into your brain and you can't think anything else. And so, I think that's what you have to. I mean, I was very lucky. I grew up in a family where my mother's very religious, but my father wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really actually. To be honest, I'm not talking about religion,
No,
Steve.
but I know, but that's the one that.
But the one you've gone down the road of, I'm not talking about anything in particular. I'm just on about freedom. Freedom is a word. You can say what you think. Some people will go, I don't think that's a very nice thing to say. And other people will go, yeah, I agree with you. Or they might want to debate you. But that's all healthy stuff. It's good stuff. That's what I'm on about. I'm not saying religion. I'm not saying anyone. But I'm saying that you should be able to sometimes say out loud what you think instead of everyone going around saying, shut up. Shut up. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Except you have to, when you're in... You have to have some respect. You've got to be... you can't just say what you like anywhere you like. Because, you're going to upset people, aren't
Yes.
you?
Well, that's what I just said.
But I mean,
Some people will be upset.
Valentin makes a point.
If I walk down the road tomorrow, if I walk through town tomorrow and I don't say anything to anyone, someone will be upset just by me walking past them. So what do? Do I just never go outside again? So that is it. The moment you open your mouth, the moment you say something, the moment you utter an opinion, you might upset someone somewhere. But that's it. That's what freedom is. Freedom of speech is saying something that people will either disagree with or agree with. That's it.
You've just got to be aware, though, that if you're saying that to a person who doesn't share your views, they may react in a way that, they might attack you.
Yes.
So
that doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. So everyone has a right to say something. No one has more right to say something than others. Everyone has the same right. That's why we keep talking about equality. Equality is just having the right to say what you think or feel. It might offend someone. You might have a joke, Steve. We hear a lot of this at the moment about jokes. People making jokes. Oh, I was offended by that joke. Oh, I'm so offended. Oh, I want that person to be cancelled. I want them to go away forever. But maybe a lot of other people think that's very funny and love it. So why? Why should one or two people say that person should go away when...
Are you talking about the cancel culture?
Just generally, yes.
That is quite prevalent these days.
That's it.
Of course, we're talking about it from a Western perspective.
Yes. Well, I'm talking about it from a human perspective, actually.
It would be lovely if if the world was this wonderful fluffy place. But unfortunately, it isn't.
Well, I didn't. But again, I didn't say it was.
And I think human beings are human beings. We've got emotions.
Yes. But aren't we?
So you can't. You've got to sometimes not say exactly what you think.
Yes, but aren't we supposed to be moving forward? Isn't humanity supposed to be trying to be better? And be more lovely, giving hugs and communicating with each other, but apparently not. Apparently we're not.
Oh, I think it is, Mr. Duncan. Your glass at the moment is very much half empty.
No, mine's full to the top. My glass is overflowing, you see. It's overflowing, and I'm saying that it is. And if you're offended by my glass that is overflowing with water... what can I say?
You've really got one on you today, as we say.
I haven't. I'm not. I'm just saying something because I was a bit upset by it. It's not a very nice thing to happen.
Well, no, of course it's not. Nobody wants to get stabbed, do they?
Okay, Steve. Yes. Okay then, Steve. Anyway, let's move away from this. Neatram says something that I thought he was going to say. Have you ever been offended by someone who makes a gay joke? No. I normally have a really good laugh about it. You see?
It depends.
Two gay men are in an aeroplane. One gay guy says to the other, if the plane goes upside down, will we fall out? And the other one says, no, we'll still be friends. You see, there's a gay joke. You see?
It depends. I mean, we have watched sitcoms and been offended sometimes. when
Yes,
it is, you know.
but then we forget about it a minute later. I don't pick up the phone and say, hello, the producer of this TV show. I want everyone cancelled now. You see, I go, okay, that was a bit naughty, but I move on.
Yeah, but then, you know, yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure what point you're trying to make, Mr. Duncan.
What?
But
Well,
anyway.
No, that's a question I'm just answering from the
Fine,
live chat.
fine. God, you're in a funny mood today,
not.
Mr. Duncan. I
Yes.
didn't know you were going to be in this kind of mood. I thought we were
did.
just going to talk about water.
Yes, well, we are. That's the very important thing, because everyone's talking about water. But I don't think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. But it all started because the other night Uri Geller was on, and he's doing all this rubbish again about I'm thinking and sending things through the air. He's not psychic. He can't bend spoons. He can't start clocks or watches.
Okay, yeah, well,
He has none of those abilities. So please stop saying he does, because he doesn't. It's been proven.
Yeah, well, I think everybody knows he can't.
Okay then.
But he's an entertainer,
Yeah.
isn't he? So, you know,
Yes, but
and he's
it's
making
very-
money off it. So,
Okay, by lying.
well, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want him to be put in prison? Is that
Okay.
what you want?
No.
Well,
I
what
just
do you
th-
want then?
I just think he should be ignored instead of being given tons of publicity every time he opens his mouth.
Well, he's obviously got friends in high places.
Well, yes. Well, isn't that the problem with most things in the world?
Giovanni Rivetti is watering his lawn. Talking about water.
Okay.
Did you see how I changed the subject there? I'm watching you while I'm watering my 7 ladies. Orchids. Wow. Nice to see you again. Happy Sunday afternoon. Yes, so, well, we're not allowed to water our lawns here in the UK because we are in a drought situation, as
Yes.
Mosen mentioned earlier. He said he's seen on Twitter that Britain is in a drought. Is this true? Yes, it is. Well, parts of Britain are.
Yeah, the southeast.
The southeast is definitely in a drought.
At the moment, we're still okay. Here, there is no ban on using water for watering your garden. But in the southeast, they've had so little rain, all of their reservoirs have dried, their rivers are dry, and they are experiencing drought conditions. There is very little.
Yeah, so
water.
and we've been told, although we're not officially in a drought in Shropshire or the West Midlands, it's the sort of south west, isn't it? Well, the south of sort of southeast, southwest parts of Kent, that sort of area. We have been asked politely not to use a hose in the garden to try and preserve water.
Actually, they're going to fine people if they use them.
Well, they are. They
Yeah.
are in certain parts of the country. I think it's £2,000.
£2,000 if you're seen watering your plants.
And by the way, you won't be seen by the local council. The only way that you would get a fine is if one of your neighbours dobbed you in.
Yes.
Dobbed you in is a phrase to mean reported you
Yes.
to the local authority.
Yes.
And
So
then
someone will say, I saw Mr. Steve.
They might take a picture of you.
Yes. I saw Mr. Steve last night in his garden. I saw Mr. Steve last night in the garden, and he was watering his plants. And I filmed Mr. Steve doing it. So I think you should come round and you should fine Mr. Steve. You should give him a big fine.
Well, I'm not using the hose there. Why does that seem to be a long way out from the...
Well, this is about 3 years ago.
I was going to say, that's not now.
Well, no, it's not now because you're here with me.
Well, yeah, but the creepy thing is, Mr. Duncan, the very... talking about strange coincidences...
Okay, then.
Well,
Yes, let's
I'm
talk-
wearing now, on the live stream, exactly the same clothes.
That's not now.
Well, I'm just saying, you said that this was recorded some time ago.
Yes, about 3 years ago.
Well, I'm now on this live stream. I didn't know you were going to show that. And I am wearing exactly the same clothes. I'm wearing that top and the same shorts.
Oh. Yes, you're right.
It's the same one. Look.
Yes. Look at that. So, well, we can't see your shorts.
You can't see the shorts, but believe me, I'm wearing exactly the same ones.
I can't believe you just said, is that now?
Well, only because... Well, I didn't know when you
I know,
filmed it,
it's just
Mr.
funny.
Duncan.
It's just funny. Well, I wish the dahlias in the garden looked like that.
Well, I thought
They don't look like that this year. They're all fried.
I thought it was the trick of your camera making them look better, and then I thought, well, they weren't there. They're further. They're in a different position this year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
so
they look amazing. This was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, so
But
there
Mr.
we
Steve
go.
is now wearing exactly the same clothes.
It's that top, and as you can see, it's faded
Yeah.
compared to when you filmed that. Talking of strange coincidences, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, is this the one I think it's going to be? Because this is going to be a very long story.
Well, I can keep it short.
If you could.
So there's a strange coincidence. Duncan showing a film of something 3 years ago that I didn't know he was going to show, and I'm wearing the same clothes, exactly the same clothes as then. And obviously I don't look any older either. And I'm not wearing that white cap, but never mind, because Mr. Duncan has to wear the cap.
This is the short version.
So we went out for a meal on your birthday on Friday night.
Mm.
Managed to get Mr. Duncan into a nice restaurant. We had a lovely meal. They were playing music, weren't they?
They were.
As they do in restaurants. And a lot of it was sort of 60s, 70s, 80s music. And I have been watching a German TV show from the 1970s called TV Wunderland. And one of the songs, and I love it, but one of the pieces of music they played was Here Comes the Sun. Here Comes the Sun, which we think is by one of the Beatles who wrote that. We think the Beatles, the famous group from the 1960s.
By George Harrison.
George Harrison, that he was one of the Beatles. And I said, oh, there's a lovely version of that in there. 10 minutes later, guess what they played through the loudspeakers in the restaurant? Here Comes the Sun.
By George Harrison.
By George Harrison, the original version.
So, and Steve,
spooky or what?
Steve was talking about that song, and then they played it. I think maybe they were taking requests.
Well, and that goes to prove, Mr. Duncan.
Does it?
About probabilities. So what is the probability of you sitting in a restaurant talking about a particular song and then 10 minutes later it gets played? What are the chances you could measure that? It's probably 1 in a million or something.
Maybe.
Or probably 1 in, I don't know, 1 in 100,000. So therefore, that event happened. So therefore, if we went out and left the dishwasher going, it could set fire because it's a probability. It's something that could happen. What's that probability? 1 in 100,000,
Yeah.
maybe the same probability.
What's the possibility of me becoming the next pope?
That's a very low probability.
Apparently, you have more chance of becoming the next pope than winning the national lottery here in the UK. It's true. You have more chance of being announced as the next pope than actually winning the lottery.
Oh, Belarusia has got cannelloni.
Hello, Claudia.
Claudia or Belarusia.
Yeah, just say Claudia. We all know who Claudia is now.
Cannelloni is in the oven. Tomato sauce is ready. My father is sleeping. I can relax. Hello, Mr. Steve. Hello, Belarusia or Claudia.
Claudia.
Well, so you've been multitasking. You've been doing the washing and also cooking and watching us. That's 3 things at the same time.
Well, that's good.
You're very clever, Claudia. And probably maybe you're cleaning someone's teeth at the same time.
Yes.
4 things. Right.
Good.
Pedro asked something earlier.
Hello, Pedro. Oh, we have Pedro Belmont.
Pedro is here, and he asked me a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have I seen PSICO? Sico? Is that pronounced Sico? Is that a film? That's when we were talking about...
Where's the comment?
There. That's when we were talking about... what were we talking about at the time?
Are you sure it isn't Psycho?
Oh, it could be Psycho.
The famous film by Alfred Hitchcock.
We were talking about pessimism and optimism and glass half full and half empty.
Okay.
Maybe it's Psycho. Yes, I have seen it. Oh, yes, stabbings. I bet that's what it is. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And the way you say it so sort of casually. Oh yeah, stabbings.
The house smells of garlic. Oh, says Claudia. You would like that.
I would. I like garlic.
Well, we're sacrificing. I was going to cook our our usual weekend chili con carne, or chili con carne, I don't know how to pronounce that. But I haven't had time before we came on. So, I'm sacrificing our meal to
Good.
do this.
I don't want to eat it anyway. It's too hot to eat. Do you ever notice that when it's hot, you don't feel like eating food? You don't feel like eating anything. Your appetite completely vanishes, and I don't really feel like eating much food.
Well, we had so much to eat on Friday at your meal. I mean, we literally stuffed ourselves. That's an expression. So if you go out for a meal or you have a meal at home and you eat far too much, you say, I've stuffed myself.
Yes.
I'm stuffed.
Yes.
So literally, it's like stuffing an animal.
Sorry, what?
Stuffing a soft toy with whatever you put into a soft toy.
That looks like that looks like something really disgusting, by the way. I don't know what you're doing there.
If somebody says, "Have you had enough to eat?" You say, "Oh, I'm stuffed." If you say I'm stuffed, it means you've had plenty of food. You couldn't get anything else in. I'm stuffed.
Okay.
Of course, you can use that expression in other ways.
But Steve,
Yes.
I did wonder when you started doing the action. You see, I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, don't say I've just been stuffed.
Yeah.
Say I'm stuffed.
Yes.
Because they've got two very different meanings.
Yes. If you say that you're going into the garden to stuff the turkey, or you're going to stuff the turkey tonight, yes.
If you stuff something, it means that you're filling an empty void with something like filling.
Yes. Sure.
So you've got a soft toy, and you stuff it full of cotton wool or something to bring it out.
Yes.
Then you're stuffing something.
Yes. Stuffing.
But it has got other meanings.
Yes. To stuff. To stuff something is a verb. You stuff that thing.
Yes. I'm stuffed. I've had plenty to eat.
Okay, Steve. I think we've made that very clear. Actually.
Palmyra says, I started to learn English from Michael Jackson's songs after his death. So 2009 as well, when Palmyra started to learn English. So have you got American English then?
Well, that's funny because Uri Geller was a very close friend of Michael Jackson.
Right.
And that's it, really. Yeah. Michael Jackson, yes, a lot of... music is a very good way of learning English. Listening to music, looking at the lyrics or the words of the song. Yes, very good.
Mosen is making some very good comments today. In some Arab countries, there is little rainfall, yes, Saudi Arabia, etc. But they get the water from desalination. So, yes, they get water from the sea and they take the salt out of it. It's a high energy process, but of course they've got lots of oil there, so probably no problem with that. And in fact, in the UK, they are now talking about, in fact, they have built a desalination plant in the UK.
Yes.
But it's not working.
Where is it?
Somewhere near the south coast, I believe.
Oh.
In exactly the area where they currently have a drought.
So it's near the sea.
It's near the sea. It has to be near the sea. Well, it doesn't have to be because you could bring the water. I don't know how. It's Saudi Arabia. There must be a river or a sea nearby. My geography is not very good. But it's expensive to produce the water that way. But I presume you can use the heat of the sun to do that. But I mean, we don't really need them in this country because we have so much rainfall normally that we should be able to have enough reservoirs to keep the water. But
yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Right. So yes, that is how they get water in very hot countries like Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Well, they're quite expensive to run, aren't they? They use a lot of energy to actually convert it. I still don't know why we can't just drink seawater. Just have a glass of seawater. I mean, yes, there might be a little bit of pollution and the occasional little bit of plastic or something, and it might make you thirsty afterwards. But you can also drink. But you can always drink some water. So, hang on. No, you can't. Okay.
Yes, we know if you're trapped if you're at sea on a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, it's better to drink your own urine than it is to drink the seawater.
Okay.
Apparently,
that's how you get monkeypox.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't.
But so yes, it's So no, seawater. We know we can't drink that.
Definitely can't. So don't try it, please. Don't try to drink seawater tonight.
Too salty. Yes.
Too salty. and polluted. You
Get
might
stuffed.
swallow a jellyfish.
Yes, Alessandra, if you say get stuffed to somebody,
Yeah.
that's a bad word. Yes, that means go away,
Yeah.
get stuffed.
Yes. It actually means the F. It's a bit like saying the F word.
Yes, but
The-
a kinder way of saying it.
Well, no, because it's just as bad.
You're annoying me, get lost. Or
Yes.
you're annoying me, get stuffed.
Yes.
Is quite rude,
Yes.
but not as rude as F off,
No. Okay.
which is an equivalent. That one could start a fight.
Yes, definitely.
I'll get stuffed.
Yes, but that isn't very friendly.
Because
Either. Very, very rude as well.
that's rude. So it's indicating that, well, it's not nice. But if you feel stuffed, then that means you're full of food. So again, a word that can be used in different ways that has very different meanings.
We are going to talk about water in a few moments because today we're looking at different ways of expressing the movement of.
Right. Yeah, go on. Yes. Palmyra says in some countries wine is cheaper than mineral water.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
you can't bathe in it.
no, exactly.
Don't bathe in wine.
Because mineral water is quite expensive. It's quite cheap here, but I can imagine that wine could be cheaper in a country where you can make, you can grow grapes and make wine, but mineral water you might not have any available in your country. You need mountains for that, don't you? So you might have to import the mineral water, so it's expensive, whereas the wine is produced in that country and therefore it's cheaper than the mineral water. People used to drink beer hundreds of years ago in this country.
Well, because water was disgusting.
Water made you ill, but beer, the process of making beer, eliminates all the harmful bacteria. So people used to just drink beer all the
A
time.
lot of people still use that excuse. Look, I'm drinking this beer and I'm going to drink it all day because I'm thirsty. I don't want the water because it's disgusting, so I'm just going to carry on drinking the beer.
They worked out that it was very weak beer, but they worked out that people, particularly working in factories that needed to have a lot of water because it was hot manual work, they used to give them beer so that they didn't get sick from poor quality water. We're going back a few hundred years now.
Yes, quite a while.
But yes, so what a way to live.
Some people do live like that.
They do, yes.
Yes, they're always happy. Their livers aren't very happy though.
Yes. Oh, right. Nijat says, until now, desalinated water was used for power plants. But it can be used as drinking water. So I don't suppose you can put... anyway, don't know, but that's obviously a technical thing.
So we can desalinate, but it's too expensive to do. But at the moment we are in a difficult situation because we have a water shortage across many parts of England, across the south. So I thought today, Steve, it would be fun. Let's have some fun, shall we?
Well, it would be nice.
It would be nice. But I think. But one of the things people like about this show, Steve, is we do talk about subjects. Sometimes subjects that other people won't talk about. So why not? Why not? That's what the internet is for, everyone. It is for everyone, everywhere. So we're looking at ways of describing the movement of water. So I will give you a good example. Here is an example, Mr. Steve, for you. So look at the screen and you will see something come on any second now.
Drip.
So there is the first way of showing water, the movement of water. So this is one that is quite a common thing you will see. Maybe you are looking at your tap or the faucet and you will see that there is water dripping. There is water dripping from the tap. So that is a way of describing water that is just coming out slightly.
Drip, 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 drip,
drip, drip, drip, drip, drip, drip.
So that's the meaning of the word there, but you can also use that as a verb. Would I be right?
Yes, something can drip.
But if you can call someone a drip,
Yes.
so obviously that water is not flowing out of there as fast as it should do.
Mm.
But if you say to somebody you're a drip,
Mm.
that's sort of mildly offensive,
Yes.
because that means somebody is a bit silly, a bit stupid,
Yes. You're saying that person is ineffectual.
slow to grasp things,
And
maybe
just
a slow
weak
learner.
or weak.
You drip. That's it. So, for example, if you saw a person that you wanted, maybe a man sees a beautiful girl, and or is somebody, it doesn't have to be beautiful, somebody that he's very attracted to, and he wants to ask that girl out, but he's too shy, too scared, and his mate might say to him, "Oh, for goodness sake, you drip. Go and ask her out."
Yes.
So, in other words, you're a bit, you drip.
Yeah, ineffectual
Yes, that's
is what it actually directly. It can be used to describe a person who is weak and feeble of character.
Yes.
They're a bit of a drip.
That's it. Or they might just be, yeah, that's it. Just too nice.
Mm.
Sometimes if
Yeah.
someone's described as too nice, or is totally inoffensive in every single way,
That's it.
and is not capable of really doing anything for themselves, you would describe them as a drip.
Mm.
Oh, what a drip!
Anyway, we have another one, Steve. Another one that has more than one meaning. Would you like to see it?
Oh, Ricky suddenly asked, is it only water that can drip?
Well, anything can drip.
Any liquid?
Anything that is dripping in liquid form. So maybe wax from a candle
Yes. Good one, Mr. Duncan.
can drip. So maybe if a candle is slowly melting, the wax might drip.
It just means droplets. Droplets, doesn't it?
Yes, they are falling.
Falling droplets, not a steady flow of water.
Yes,
Just little bits.
that's it. Here's another one then, Steve. We've had drip. Here's another one. You might like this one. Here we go. If I can get it to come on the screen.
Mercury could drip as well.
Okay.
Dribble.
Dribble. Now, this is something I often do, especially when you get to a certain age, Steve.
Oh, yes.
If the men are watching, if there are men watching over a certain age, you will know that we all suffer from this problem sometimes. You want to go to the toilet, and all you get is a dribble. So that is a very weak stream or flow of water. It will dribble.
The drops of just about turning into it's not quite a stream. It's intermittent.
Yes.
So you get some flow, and you get some drops, a dribble.
Mm.
Not as bad as a drip, but not as good as a stream.
Mm.
A dribble, somewhere in between drips and streams,
Yes.
I would say.
So the low pressure, if the water is coming through with a very low pressure, it might only dribble. It might only dribble down or out or from something.
Yes. Dribble, you can say that if somebody is maybe asleep, maybe somebody is asleep and saliva
Yes.
is coming out of the corner of their mouth,
Yes.
you can say that, they're dribbling.
Yes.
Or if you get so much saliva because you're hungry and you're eating, saliva's coming out of your mouth, it's dribbling out of your mouth. So there'll be like a sort of a weak stream of saliva.
Mm.
And if people are asleep, their mouth's open, they can dribble out of the corner of their mouth.
Also in football,
Yes.
if you kick the ball steadily in front of you, if you are moving forwards and also kicking the ball, not hard, but you kick it lightly, you dribble the ball.
Yes.
You are moving along steadily and you are pushing the ball with your foot as you go along.
That's a good one, Mr. Duncan.
Dribble.
Dribble. It's sort of intermittent sort of pattern of movement.
Yeah.
Slightly erratic.
Yes.
Not a regular pattern.
No.
Yes, and dribbling would be the yeah.
Okay. I have to turn the volume up then. Here's another one. Here's a good. Oh, I like this one. Oh, Mr. Steve, you're going to like this one as well. This one is gush.
Gush.
Gush. Look at that. Something that's coming out almost uncontrollably. It gushes. Something is gushing. Maybe the water pipe has broken. I think this one is just transferring water from one place to another. But you can see the pressure of the water is very, very high, very strong pressure.
Gushing. So if you see water gushing out somewhere, that means it's an unrestricted, large flow of water. It's gushing out, probably almost uncontrollably.
Yes.
So if a pipe breaks, say you live in a cold country and your water pipe freezes, the water will gush out of the pipe in a sort of random heavy flow sort of way. It's gushing out. And other meanings for that word, Mr. Duncan. If you talk a lot, and you're always talking sort of not without control, but you can talk in a gushing way, can't you?
Yes, if you can't hold back the words that you want to say, you keep saying things. Quite often, if a person is being complimentary,
yes,
about another person. Oh, you are such an amazing teacher, Mr. Duncan. Oh, I love watching you all the time. Oh my goodness. And that person can be described as gushing. They gush.
They're almost uncontrollably saying not lots of nice things about something or somebody. They're gushing. They're very enthusiastic. The words are spilling out of their mouths about a particular subject or somebody, as you say, normally in a complimentary way. Yes, he was very gushing on his description of his girlfriend.
Yes. So the water in this video is gushing. The water is gushing from the open pipe. And you can see the water is coming out at a very high force. The pressure is very high. And also you will notice that the water is not actually under control. It is random. It is coming out randomly at high pressure. It's a great word, actually. Gush.
Is that a word that you're going to use there, Mr. Duncan?
No, I don't think. But I think that's a good one to mention.
All right then, Mohammed. Thank you very much.
It's a bit like what you just said about dribble.
Yes, if you're drooling,
it's the same thing.
Drooling is something where you're so. Well, there's two ways of maybe just you could use an example of that. One of it, you're so hungry that the saliva is drooling out of your mouth. So if it's coming out one side, it's dribbling out. If you're sort of lots of saliva, you're drooling. You're so lots of saliva in your mouth. You're so hungry for that food that the saliva is in your mouth. There's so much of it.
Yes.
But of course, you can drool over somebody.
Yes.
Literally, you're so excited by somebody's appearance. You know, you're excited, you're very attracted to them. You take on a certain expression and saliva sort of drools, comes out of your mouth. You're drooling over that person.
I think that's more used figuratively.
Yes.
Though, there isn't actually saliva coming out of your mouth, because that would be very weird. You are definitely not going to find a girlfriend or boyfriend if you are drooling like a dog that's...
Yes,
out on a hot day.
That's what Mohammed says, like a dog drooling.
Yes.
Dogs can't control their saliva. They're always doing that, aren't they?
They are. They're disgusting.
But yeah, if you drool over somebody, it means that you are very attracted to them.
Yes.
And you take on a certain expression almost similar to when you are excited about being hungry and seeing food and saliva's in your mouth. You know, you're really excited. So thank you for that, Mohammed. We love it when people are cleverer than us and come up with words and suggestions that we can talk about.
That doesn't take much doing.
That's true.
Here's another one, Steve. Oh, I like this one. Well, this is something a lot of people wish they were doing today.
Yes.
Splash. You get into the water and you make the water fly around and move erratically. You splash. You can splash in a swimming pool. You can throw water at someone and splash them. So it can be used quite often as a verb to show that you are doing that thing. You are splashing. The splash of water. Droplets of water are flying towards you. They
Yes.
are splashing.
So, like, there's a video of you, Mr. Duncan, splashing in the puddles outside somebody's house in Much Wenlock.
Yes.
So, if you jump in a puddle of water, then if that water then goes over somebody else, you've splashed them. You've splashed them with water.
Splash.
You might splash water over your face in the sink in the morning. You washing your face. There's water in the bowl, and you use your hands and you splash water over your face to wash your face. Or you might want to cool off because you're getting too excited.
We can also use the word figuratively. We can use the word splash figuratively as well, to mean spend large amounts of money on something or someone. You might buy expensive diamonds. You might go out and buy a new sports car. You splash out.
Palmyra says that. Yes, you splash out. Similarly to, you're just sort of randomly just spending money, just like water moving around all over the place because you've splashed the water or you've done something.
Yes.
You're just spending money almost uncontrollably. You're splashing out.
That's it.
I bought drinks for everybody in the pub tonight. I splashed out. Or I bought presents for everybody at work. I splashed out. You just spent a lot of money, more than you normally would.
Yes. And of course there is another phrase as well. You can make a splash as well.
Yes.
To make a splash is to make a big impression on other people. Maybe you walk in a room and everyone looks at you and they're so fascinated because you are very, very interesting to look at. We can say that that person has made a splash. You have made a very deep and profound impression on those around you.
Yes, because when you make a splash in water, that creates a lot of excitement, doesn't it? Because people go, "Oh, don't splash me with water." It's noticed. So if you make a splash, it means you've made an impression.
Yes.
And are we making a splash today on Mr. Duncan's live stream?
Also, there is another one. You can have a splash of colour.
Yes.
Maybe if you are brightening up your room, maybe you want to introduce some lovely bright colours. We can say that, well, my room is very dark, so I think I might have a splash of colour or add a splash of colour to the room. That means you are adding some bright colours, some bright tones or light colours into the room. Reds, orange, bright, yellow, very bright colours. You introduce them into the room and you add a splash of colour.
Yeah, so thanks for that. Yes, and then we've got Bluesbird using the phrase splash down. Splash down. Yeah, you could use that at least two ways.
I had one of those this morning.
Yes, if you have a splash down, it means you're having a very quick wash.
Oh, okay.
A splash down, very quick wash. Or obviously when if something falls into water, like a spacecraft comes back down to Earth, it splashes down. In other words, it's landing on water.
Yes.
A lifeboat could be released from a boat. It's splashing down into the water.
Yes, to fall heavily. So yes, maybe when a little space capsule comes back from space, it will always splash down in the water or in the sea. It means to land.
To land on water.
To land on
splash
water.
down. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, here are some Here are some rather interesting ones coming now, Steve.
Yes, sorry, Rose has just said as well, yes, your car gets dirty when it goes past the puddles because the puddles are splashing all over the car. That is annoying when you've just washed your car and then you have to go through a puddle.
Yes. You might also say that you get heavy spray.
Ooh,
Oh,
right.
look at that. Spray. Small droplets of water that are flying through the air at great speed. Very small particles or droplets of water that are moving through the air under force. We say the word spray. Something will spray out. It sprays everywhere.
Yes, so a gush would be heavy water, but a spray is the fine droplets. And you can recreate that, of course, with a hose pipe. If you put your finger over the end and turn the tap on, you can create a nice spray of water. When you're on the motorway driving, water might spray up from the road. A lorry might go over the water on the road, and all the water sprays up onto your windscreen. Or your hose, you can spray your plants with water. It would indicate that you've got it on a setting that gives fine droplets of water that will land on the leaves, for example.
We can also use this word as well to mean a collection of flowers that have been arranged together. We often talk about a spray of flowers. So that is used in another way, figuratively, to mean a group or a bunch of flowers that have been arranged in a certain way. A beautiful spray of flowers.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Here's another one, Steve.
Another one.
Oh, we have a few still to come here. So I hope you're feeling energetic.
I'm feeling hungry.
Hungry?
Yes.
Me too. I am a little bit peckish because I haven't eaten anything today.
Oh, that's why you're in a bit of a bad mood.
Maybe that's one of the reasons. Here we go, Steve. Oh, what's happening there?
A spurt.
Spurt.
A spurt of water.
Spurt. Something is spurting out. You can see the water here is spurting. We can say that there is a spurt of water, a sudden force or a sudden appearance of water.
Spurting or squirting.
And then we have squirt as well. I'll just go back there slightly because we missed that one. We also have squirt as well. Water that is directed under pressure in a certain way. Squirt. We can also use this to describe a weak person as well.
We can, yes.
A person who's very weak. They don't have much strength in their body.
So a squirt is a solid water coming out like that, but it's not a very big stream of water, is it?
That's
it's sort of a squirt of water.
Yeah.
So it's more than a dribble.
Yes.
But it's still not very strong. It's not gushing out. It's just a thin thread of water that doesn't last for long, a squirt. So if you call somebody a squirt, it means they're a small, weak sort of person. Whereas a spurt could be very powerful,
yes.
but doesn't last for long.
That's it.
So a sudden amount of water that's coming out, a spurt, that could be quite powerful.
Okay, here's another one, Steve. Shoot out.
Shoot out, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The water shoots out. It shoots out from the hose pipe. Also, we have the word flow. If something flows, it means it's moving in a steady stream.
A steady flow of water.
And then, of course, we have dribble again. This is my favourite word today, dribble.
That's you when you get up in the night.
Yes,
and you go to the toilet.
and that's what I wish I was doing.
A water jet, yes, a very concentrated, powerful amount of water that just comes out in a solid stream like
Yes.
that.
So that's me in the night.
Yes.
When I go to the toilet, nothing's coming out. And that's what I wish it was doing.
That's what it was like when you were 18.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it used to be like.
Yes.
I remember the days. Happy days. And we have, I think we have a couple of more before we go. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We actually do. Yes. Yes, we do.
So something that shoots out, suddenly comes from nowhere, you weren't expecting it.
Yes. Here we go. So water that's flowing along the ground, we can say that it's babbling, rippling.
Babbling, yes, because air gets trapped. Air goes underneath the water as the water's flowing, and it produces a certain sound, doesn't it? A babbling brook has lots of air trapped within it as it's flowing, because there could be rocks there like that, and it would make a particular sound, a babbling brook. You've got to have air trapped in underneath the water, and then the air escapes and makes a certain sound.
Yes. So the pressure of the water hitting a surface as well as it moves along.
Yes.
Rippling as well. So this can be the movement of the water. So as you watch the water move, you will notice that it is rippling.
Rippling.
Ripple.
It's a certain pattern, isn't it?
You can see there the water is rippling over the stone.
Yes.
And it's almost like small waves.
Yes.
Small, short waves of water.
That's
Ripple.
it.
Ripple. And then, of course, when we talk generally about the river or the water flowing, it describes the movement of the water. It describes how the water is moving.
Flowing.
Yes.
Movement.
So there you can see the water there is flowing.
Water flows down the stream.
Flowing.
It's babbling there, but it's also flowing. Now, flowing is more of a... You would describe water flowing when it's just more of a smooth sort of...
Yes.
A smooth sort of passage of the water.
So once the water goes back into the river, as we'll see in a second, you can see it flowing just behind, just at the back.
Yes,
Water.
it's flowing. It's probably not being interrupted by rocks or anything like that. It's flowing down the river.
Very nice.
In an uninterrupted way.
I do like that, by the
A
way.
heavy flow.
Yes. I used to go to school with heavy flow.
Mr. Duncan.
It's almost time to say goodbye. Are you sad?
Yes,
I don't think
am,
so.
Yes.
I had. Oh, by the way, I had a birthday card come yesterday. I think it was a bit late, and it's a lovely card. Look at this. It says Happy Birthday, Duncan. Isn't that lovely? From our lovely friends who we're going to see next week. We're going to see them next week, aren't we? Sonia and Brent. If you are watching, we will be seeing you next week, and I hope we will be going for a lovely curry.
All being well.
Yes, all being well.
That's something you say. I'll see you next week, all being well. That means that as long as nothing goes wrong, I'll come and see you.
Although, unfortunately, in your world, there's always that possibility.
All being well. That's a good expression to use. I'll see you on the 14th of September, all being well.
Yes, all being well.
So nothing interrupts that, nothing goes wrong in the meantime, or you have to rearrange.
However, I am a little bit disappointed by the card, the front of the card.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a statement of my appearance. This is the front of the card. I don't know what you're saying there about me, but thank you very much for the sentiment anyway. This is me this morning. This is what I look like every morning when I wake up, slightly disorientated and wondering what to do for my next live stream, maybe.
That monkey is pondering, or it's a chimpanzee, isn't
Yes, it is.
Got to be careful, yes. Any sort of experts watching,
Any-
pick me up on that.
Any chimpanzees watching at the moment?
Are chimpanzees monkeys?
They have to have tails.
Right, okay.
Monkeys have tails,
That's
and
it.
apes don't have tails.
And neither do chimpanzees. Do chimpanzees have tails? No, they don't, do they?
Don't.
But that's definitely a chimpanzee.
That's it. Like Mr. Lomax, you see.
Like Mr. Lomax.
So maybe this is a picture of Mr. Lomax
Yes.
relaxing.
Maybe our friends have been watching you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, maybe this is representing Mr. Lomax.
Lewis mentions that, talking to Celia, saying that we were and this has happened to all of us,
Mm.
that you're walking along the pavement, it's been raining,
Yeah.
there are cars driving down the road, and a car deliberately goes into a big puddle to spray you with water.
Mm.
Now, yes, Lewis said he was with some friends and the driver did it on purpose and we got completely soaked. You would have to say soaked, not there. You'd have to use not soak. You'd have to say we got completely soaked. That's happened to me. It's happened to us many. In fact, it happened to Sometimes it's on by accident because, you know, a driver can't put their brakes on just to stop you getting wet because it could be dangerous. But sometimes we know they do it deliberately.
Yes, they see you walking along the road and there's a giant puddle at the
Yes,
side of the road, and they drive their car through it.
that's it.
And then the spray of water will go all over you and they have a good laugh.
In fact, I have been in a car when someone's done that
Oh, okay. Oh,
deliberately.
Charming.
Because when I used to be a manager,
who was it? Name and shame.
it was, I can't remember his name now, but he was one of my reps.
Okay.
And I was out on a field visit going round with him to his customers where the manager sits and observes the call. And he was a bit of a lad, bit of a mischievous sort of person. And we were driving around and he said, oh, and he deliberately drove in this puddle of water to soak these two other, I can't remember if there were a couple of lads or a lad with a girl walking down the street. And he was laughing afterwards,
Yeah.
looking back, ha ha ha. I thought it was very nasty at the time.
You have some horrible friends, by the way.
Because if you're driving in a car, if you get close to the curb, that's where the puddle will be deepest.
Yes.
And then you can, you know, and I don't think I've ever done that, but I've
No.
definitely been in a car when someone's done it.
Yes.
I reprimanded him and said, right, you are not getting a pay rise.
You wish.
The thing is, his sales were very good, so he could sort of get away with it.
Okay, this is really straying off the. I feel like I want to throw water over you to stop you from
Oh, look at what Nitram's
telling me that
Nitram
story.
said. Absolutely soaking wet. It's raining men. Hallelujah. Favourite song of Mr. Steve's, which Nitram knows, of course, that it is not my favourite song.
It's raining men, hallelujah, it's raining men, amen.
Oh,
Tall, short, fat or small?
Not fat.
Okay.
Absolutely soaking. That's brilliant, Nitram. Thank you very much for that reference. And shows that you are watching a lot of our live streams to know
Yes.
that that is not my favourite song.
Yeah, well, you do mention it every week.
That is true. Yes, lots of people go. Angelique is going.
By the way, if you get a lot of rain, if you get a lot of water onto you or on you, we can say that you've been drenched.
Yes, there's a good one.
So maybe if you've been out in the rain and the rain has been falling and you come back in the house and your clothes are all wet, you can say, I am drenched.
Yes,
The water,
drenched.
the water is on my clothes and it's soaked in. Ugh.
So, Lewis, your example there, you could have said that when the driver drove through the puddle and covered you in water, you were soaked. So the water went all the way through your clothes.
Yes.
But you could also say that you were drenched
Mm.
as well. That could be another word you could use there. I'm
Yes.
drenched in water.
So lots of water has fallen or has gone onto a certain place or a certain thing.
You can also say you're
drenched.
You can drench water over over a pavement. Just means a lot of water has gone on something. Whereas soaked means it's gone right through. I'm soaking wet,
Mm.
or I'm soaked through.
Yes.
Soaked, i.e., soaked through to my skin. It's gone right
Yes.
through your clothes onto your skin. Soaked through.
Or soaked to the skin.
Soaked to the skin. I'm soaked to the skin. I'm soaked through.
Mm.
Which, you know, if you go outside, I mean, you often see children now, don't you, going to school. If you're out driving and, you know, when children are walking to school and you're driving past a school, or when you're coming back, when they're coming out of school, often kids now don't want to wear, do they? They don't want to wear coats with hats on, and they don't want to use an umbrella because it's not cool.
Most of them don't even walk anymore. They all get in their mummy and daddy's car.
But sometimes you do see this and you think, how did that child leave the house without a coat? It's raining and they are soaked, literally soaked. And they've got to stay at school all day in those wet clothes because it would not look cool with their friends if they arrived at school with an anorak on with a hood,
yes,
or an umbrella.
So being wet is trendy.
Being wet, it's preferable to be wet and soaked through than to be ridiculed for being untrendy to wear a coat and have an umbrella.
Okay. You learn something new.
Drenched, yes, Francesca, that is the correct spelling.
To drench something. So we can use it as a verb as well. So it can appear drenched, or you can drench something. I suppose if you put something into water as well, deep water, you can put something under the water, or immerse something. Oh,
Immerse. Drown.
Yes. Well, immerse is just to put under the water.
Yes.
Drown is a little different.
Yes.
To drown is to put something into the water violently, and also quite often because you are trying to make another person suffer in some way. Or
I nearly drowned is what you can often say. If you're exaggerating, you're almost giving the impression that you did drown. I went for a swim in the river, but I nearly drowned.
Nearly.
So you nearly died because you got into difficulty.
Yes. So you inhale the water. The water goes into your lungs. You breathe in, and the water goes into your lungs. You drown in the water.
But that can be figurative as well, can't it?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Duncan, I need to get the meal on. Do you want me to make the chili con carne for tonight?
You know what? I don't know if I actually want to eat mince.
I think I will make it because I've got the mince out and it's defrosted.
Okay,
so if
then.
I don't,
Well, this is great. Shall we have this conversation
the meat
afterwards?
Will spoil. So I'm going to run out. I'm going to make the cup of tea, but I'm also going to simultaneously make the chili con carne in the slow cooker to save electricity.
Yes, and because last week you did it quickly and it was amazing.
Talking about saving electricity,
Okay.
I spoke to a friend of mine last night. Here's another tip for saving electricity. But I want to keep giving tips for saving, energy bills going up. I spoke to a friend of mine who lives in Birmingham, and to save electricity, instead of cooking a meal every night in the oven, he is cooking using every shelf. He's making like 5 meals all at once.
Okay.
One on every shelf in the cooker, so that then he's got enough for the entire week. So he makes all these meals in the oven and then freezes them
So how do you reheat them?
in the microwave.
Oh, I see. Which uses electricity.
But not very much.
Okay.
So instead of switching the oven on and just putting one meal on, which will use the same amount of electricity as if you cook 5 meals in all the different shelves. So clever. I thought very clever.
Oh, fancy
So
pants.
there's my top tip for saving
Yes.
electricity. But whatever you do, don't spray water around electricity.
Of course, you can just not pay the bill, and then they will cut your electricity off, and then you won't use any electricity at all. Anyway, Steve, it's time to say goodbye. We've been here for 2 hours. We've talked about a lot of things today. We've talked about water. We've talked about getting wet.
Oh,
We've
splatter.
Oh, shall we carry on then?
Tiksha. Dilshani says, what about the word splatter? Yes, you can splatter. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yes.
So if you splatter water on something, it just means you throw a bit of water on and it randomly lands on a surface.
Yes.
You can splatter paint on
Yes.
a wall. It just means it's sort of randomly on the wall.
It's quite often used with something that's other than water as well.
Yes.
So it's normally something that you don't normally splatter water. I will be honest with you. It's very unusual, but normally it's any substance other
Paint.
than water. Blood.
Blood.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, Steve. But so it's blood, paint, anything thick, splatter, milk. everywhere. Cream. So it's all right. I'm not going there, don't worry. So something is splattering.
It's a certain pattern. Imagine getting some paint and throwing it at the wall. It would create a certain pattern, wouldn't it? Like a fan sort of pattern.
Just random patches.
And it would create certain pattern, almost like a fan pattern. And yes, so the walls were splattered in blood.
Okay.
Or paint.
Yeah, good.
Or red paint. Right, I'm off.
On that graphic note.
Have a good week, everyone. Yes, and hopefully see you all being well. Then we will see you again next Sunday.
There is a chance we won't be here next Sunday.
Oh, yes.
Because we are away, and that's going to be very awkward. So we might not be on next Sunday. I'm going to think about it because we are going to see our friends up north. So we have to make sure that we know whether we are going to be here, so you will know. So I'm not sure. There is a chance we won't be on next week because we probably won't leave them until mid-morning. And by the time we get back here...
might be too late.
Yeah, so we will see.
What about... Here we go. Nitram's coming up with another one.
Yep.
Water down. If you water something down.
To water something down is to make something thinner.
Dilute.
Yes, you thin something, or dilute, that's a good word.
That means you make something stronger. So if you like, for example, Mr. Duncan, you like your... what's that drink you have?
You make something weaker.
Yes, what's that drink you like? You always have it, you've had it for years.
Ribena?
Ribena. So you water it down. You take the concentrated Ribena, you dilute it, you put some into a glass, you put water in, you water it down, you make it weaker. You paint. You can water down paint. You can add some water to it or something and make it not quite such a strong colour. So thank you for that.
Maybe you're having a party and you're going to have some drinks, maybe whiskey, and you don't want to give all of the whiskey to your guests. So you put some whiskey in another bottle and then add some water to make it look as if there's more there.
You water it down.
You water down the whiskey.
But that can be used to describe a situation where you're watering down the discussion as well.
To make something less serious.
Yes.
Than it actually is. You water it down.
Yeah, that's it.
You try to ease a situation or a serious situation.
Right.
You try to water it down. Or
yes.
you might add water or throw water on something to try and stop it completely, like a fire.
Yes.
That's it, Steve. Shall we end there?
Yes, I'll go into the kitchen and I'll see you all maybe next Sunday. We could always stop and do a live stream on the way back, couldn't we?
We won't be doing that. You know that. You know we won't be doing that.
Right. Lovely to have you here and see you all next week.
I have sweat running down my legs. Is that embarrassing?
Is it a dribble?
No, it isn't. It's more of a gush.
Let's hope it's water and not something else.
Oh, okay, Steve. Lovely. And on that lovely graphic note, yes, once again, thank you, Mr. Steve.
Bye.
See you next. See you. I think I've got heat stroke. I've got heat stroke, Steve. I've got heat stroke. I don't think I can carry on. I think I'm going to faint or collapse on the ground. Oh my goodness, it is so hot here in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us for the last 2 hours. It's been lively today. I've talked about some things. I hope you were not too offended, but sometimes it's good to talk about these things, isn't it? I think talking about things is always good. It is. It is. It is. Thank you very much. I will be here on... When am I back with you? On Wednesday. I'm getting very confused, you see, because I was with you on Friday and, well, it does make me a little confused. It's my age, probably. See you on Wednesday, 2 p.m. UK time. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Stay happy. Don't forget, phone a friend. Say hello to them. Phone a relative, tell them you love them. Isn't that nice? What a lovely way to end today's live stream. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Oh, I'm so hot. Ta-ta for now.